Once upon a time, in a quaint little town, there lived a woman named Maria. Maria was 45 years old, but her spirit was as vibrant as ever. 10 to 15 years ago, Maria was the epitome of happiness. She had a loving husband named John, and together, they shared a life filled with laughter, love, and endless joy. Their days were simple yet fulfilling, and their bond seemed unbreakable. As the years passed, John became increasingly engrossed in his work. His career demanded more of his time, and he found himself spending less and less time with Maria. The once vibrant and lively home began to feel empty and quiet. Maria, who had always been a social butterfly, found herself spending more time alone, waiting for John to return from his long days at the office. One day, John decided to hire a young man named Alex to help with the household chores. Alex was a charming and handsome young man, always ready with a smile and a helping hand. He quickly became an integral part of the household, taking care of everything from cooking to cleaning. Maria appreciated his presence, as it brought a sense of warmth and companionship back into her life. Over time, Maria and Alex grew closer. They would spend hours talking, sharing stories, and laughing together. Alex's kindness and attentiveness filled a void in Maria's life that had been growing larger with each passing day. She found herself looking forward to his company more than anything else. As the days turned into weeks, Maria realized that she had developed feelings for Alex. She tried to push them away, reminding herself of her commitment to John, but the loneliness and the emotional distance between her and her husband made it difficult. Alex, too, had grown fond of Maria, and their bond deepened with each passing day. One evening, as John was away on a business trip, Maria and Alex found themselves alone in the house. The atmosphere was charged with an unspoken tension. They sat together, sharing a meal that Alex had prepared. The conversation flowed easily, and they found themselves laughing and enjoying each other's company more than ever. As the night wore on, Maria and Alex found themselves drawn closer to each other. They shared stories of their dreams and aspirations, and for a moment, it felt like they were the only two people in the world. Maria felt a sense of peace and contentment that she hadn't experienced in a long time. The next morning, Maria woke up with a heavy heart. She knew that what she felt for Alex was wrong, but she couldn't deny the happiness he brought into her life. She decided to talk to John about her feelings, hoping that they could find a way to rekindle their love and save their marriage. When John returned from his trip, Maria sat him down and poured her heart out. She told him about her loneliness, her feelings for Alex, and her desire to make things right. John listened intently, his heart heavy with the weight of his own neglect. He realized that he had taken Maria for granted and promised to make things right. Alex, understanding the situation, decided to step back and give Maria and John the space they needed to work on their marriage. He found another job and moved out of their home, leaving behind a heartfelt letter expressing his gratitude for the time he spent with them and his wishes for their happiness. Maria and John took this opportunity to reconnect. They started going on dates again, just like they used to when they were younger. They talked about their dreams, their fears, and their hopes for the future. John made a conscious effort to be more present in Maria's life, balancing his work and personal life better. Maria, too, found new hobbies and interests to keep herself engaged. She joined a book club, started painting, and even began volunteering at a local shelter. These activities not only kept her busy but also brought a new sense of fulfillment and purpose to her life. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Maria and John's bond grew stronger. They learned to appreciate each other more, understanding that love and happiness required effort and nurturing. They realized that their love story was far from over, it was just entering a new chapter. One evening, as they sat together on their porch, watching the sunset, Maria looked at John and smiled. "I'm glad we found our way back to each other," she said softly. John took her hand and squeezed it gently. "Me too," he replied. "I promise to never let us drift apart again." And so Maria and John continued to build a life filled with love, understanding, and mutual respect. They learned that happiness wasn't a destination but a journey, one that required constant effort and dedication. In the end, Maria's story is a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the strength of a relationship that can withstand the test of time. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's always a chance to find the light and rekindle the love that once was. Note asterisk: this story is intended for a general audience and does not contain any content that violates YouTube's community guidelines. It focuses on themes of love, forgiveness, and the importance of communication in relationships. Dear Maria and John, I want to thank you both for the opportunity to be a part of your lives. The time I spent with you has been invaluable, and I will always cherish the memories we created together asterisk asterisk. Maria, your kindness and warmth have touched my heart deeply. I wish you both all the happiness in the world. Please know that I am stepping back not out of resentment, but out of respect for the love you share asterisk asterisk. John, I hope you find the balance you need to make Maria happy. She deserves the world, and I know you can give it to her, ***. With heartfelt gratitude, Alex. Maria read the letter with tears in her eyes. She showed it to John, who was equally moved. They both realized the depth of Alex's understanding and the sacrifice he had made for their happiness. Rebuilding their relationship. Date nights and quality time. Maria and John started having weekly date nights. They would dress up and go out to their favorite restaurants, just like they did when they were newlyweds. They talked about everything and anything, rediscovering the joy of each other's company. One evening, they went to a cozy Italian restaurant they used to frequent years ago. Over a candlelit dinner, John looked into Maria's eyes and said, "I'm sorry for taking you for granted. I promise to be a better husband from now on." Maria smiled, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I know you will. And I promise to be a better wife too." New hobbies and interests. Maria joined a local book club, where she met other women who shared her love for literature. They would discuss books, share insights, and sometimes even organize book-themed parties. This new social circle brought a fresh perspective to Maria's life. She also started painting, something she had always wanted to do but never found the time for. Her first painting was a beautiful landscape of their backyard, capturing the serenity and peace she felt. John was amazed by her talent and encouraged her to pursue it further. John, on the other hand, started volunteering at a local community center. He helped organize events and activities for the elderly, finding a sense of fulfillment in giving back to the community. This newfound purpose brought a balance to his life that he had been missing: counseling and communication. Maria and John also decided to seek counseling to help them navigate their feelings and strengthen their bond. They attended weekly sessions with a marriage counselor, who helped them communicate more effectively and understand each other's needs better. During one session, the counselor asked them to write down their fears and hopes for the future. Maria wrote about her fear of being alone and her hope for a more connected life with John. John wrote about his fear of failing Maria and his hope for a balanced life where he could be both a successful professional and a loving husband. A new chapter. As the seasons changed, so did Maria and John's relationship. They learned to appreciate the little things, like a shared cup of coffee in the morning or a quiet evening walk. They celebrated each other's achievements and supported each other through challenges. One sunny afternoon, they decided to take a trip to the beach, a place they both loved. They packed a picnic basket with their favorite snacks and headed out. The sound of the waves and the warmth of the sun brought a sense of peace and tranquility. As they sat on the beach, watching the sunset, Maria leaned against John's shoulder. "I'm so glad we found our way back to each other," she whispered. John kissed the top of her head. "Me too. I promise to never let us drift apart again." ###a happy ending. Maria and John's story is a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the strength of a relationship that can withstand the test of time. They learned that happiness isn't a destination but a journey, one that requires constant effort and dedication. Their home, once filled with loneliness and distance, was now a sanctuary of love and understanding. They continued to build a life filled with joy, mutual respect, and a deep appreciation for each other. And so Maria and John lived happily, not just in the fairy tale sense, but in the real, everyday sense of the word. Their love story was far from over, it was just entering a new, beautiful chapter. Note ***, this detailed continuation is intended for a general audience and does not contain any content that violates YouTube's community guidelines. It focuses on themes of love, forgiveness, and the importance of communication and effort in relationships. As Maria and John worked on rebuilding their relationship, they found that the spark of romance that had once defined their love was slowly reigniting. Their efforts to reconnect were not just about mending their bond but also about rediscovering the passion and intimacy that had brought them together in the first place. ####, date nights and romantic gestures. The first date night. On their first official date night after deciding to work on their marriage, John planned a surprise evening. He booked a table at a fancy restaurant they had never been to before. Maria was thrilled when she saw the elegant setting and the romantic ambience. John had even arranged for a bouquet of her favorite flowers to be waiting at the table. As they sat down, John looked into Maria's eyes and said, "I want tonight to be special. I want to remind you of why we fell in love in the first place." Maria smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "I remember," she said softly. "And I'm glad we're here doing this." Throughout the dinner, they talked about their early days together, reminiscing about the moments that had shaped their love story. They laughed at old jokes and shared tender memories, feeling the connection between them grow stronger with each passing moment. Romantic gestures. John started leaving little love notes for Maria around the house. She would find them in her purse, on her pillow, or even tucked into her favorite book. Each note was a sweet reminder of his love and commitment. One note read, "Dear Maria, just a little reminder that you are the most beautiful woman in the world to me. I love you more each day, asterisk asterisk. Yours always, John." Maria would blush every time she found a note, feeling a flutter in her heart. She started reciprocating with her own gestures, like cooking John's favorite meals or surprising him with small gifts that showed she was thinking of him. ####intimate moments. A walk down memory lane. One evening, John suggested they take a walk down the lane where they had their first date. As they strolled hand in hand, they talked about the dreams they had back then and how far they had come. The familiar sights and sounds brought back a rush of memories, and they found themselves feeling like young lovers again. John stopped under the same tree where they had shared their first kiss. He looked into Maria's eyes and said, "Do you remember this spot?" Maria nodded, her heart racing. "How could I forget?" John leaned in and kissed her gently, just like he had all those years ago. The kiss was filled with love, tenderness, and a promise of a future together. A romantic getaway. For their anniversary, John planned a surprise getaway to a cozy cabin in the woods. The cabin was nestled among tall trees, with a beautiful view of a lake. Maria was overjoyed when she saw the romantic setting. They spent the weekend exploring the woods, having picnics by the lake, and enjoying each other's company. At night, they would sit by the fireplace, sharing stories and dreams. The intimacy and closeness they felt during those days were unlike anything they had experienced in a long time. One night, as they lay in bed, Maria looked into John's eyes and said, "I feel like we're falling in love all over again." John smiled and pulled her closer. "We are," he whispered. "And I wouldn't have it any other way." ###renewed passion. A night to remember. Back home, Maria and John found that their renewed connection had brought back the passion in their relationship. They started having romantic evenings at home, complete with candlelit dinners, soft music, and intimate conversations. One such evening, John surprised Maria with a home-cooked meal. He had set the table with their finest china and lit candles all around the room. Maria was touched by his effort and felt a deep sense of love and gratitude. As they enjoyed their dinner, they talked about their future plans and dreams. The conversation flowed easily, and they found themselves laughing and enjoying each other's company more than ever. After dinner, they danced to their favorite song, holding each other close. The moment was filled with love, passion, and a deep sense of connection. As they swayed to the music, Maria looked into John's eyes and saw the same love and devotion that had brought them together all those years ago. A promise of forever. As the days turned into weeks and months, Maria and John's love story continued to unfold. They learned to appreciate each other more, understanding that love and happiness required effort and nurturing. They realized that their love story was far from over, it was just entering a new, beautiful chapter. One sunny afternoon, they decided to renew their wedding vows in a small, intimate ceremony. Surrounded by their closest friends and family, they stood before each other and promised to love, cherish, and honor each other for the rest of their lives. As they exchanged their vows, Maria looked into John's eyes and saw the same love and devotion that had brought them together all those years ago. She knew that their love story was far from over, it was just entering a new, beautiful chapter. And so Maria and John lived happily, not just in the fairy tale sense, but in the real, everyday sense of the word. Their love story was a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the strength of a relationship that can withstand the test of time. Note asterisk: this detailed continuation is intended for a general audience and does not contain any content that violates YouTube's community guidelines. It focuses on themes of love, forgiveness, and the importance of communication and effort in relationships.